Hey guys, this is Anthony Morganti from OnlinePhotographyTraining.com. Welcome to my free training on On1 Photo RAW 2019. In this episode, I'm going to demonstrate how to import images into On1 Photo RAW 2019. You may remember in our last video, I mentioned that you do not have to import images into On1 Photo RAW 2019 to work on them. You could just navigate to wherever they are on your hard drive and just begin processing them. But if you're out shooting and you have a camera and or memory card full of images, you could use On1 to take those images from the memory card via On1 and put them on your system wherever you'd like them. And you do that through the import function. So I'm going to demonstrate that in this video. You can see I have my computer desktop here, and I have a memory card plugged in. It's from my Nikon camera, and I have some images on this memory card. Now, I have On1 Photo RAW 2019 open, and to import the images from that memory card, go up to the top File menu, then down to Import. When you do that, most often On1 is automatically going to find the memory card on your system and preload the images into the preview window. So as you can see, it did find the card, and I have all these images on that card. Now, if it didn't find the card, or maybe you have more than one memory card or even a camera plugged into your computer, and you want to choose the other one, like it found the wrong one, you could go to this drop-down and they'll all be listed here. In this case, I only have that one memory card. You have the choice to eject the card when done. You have that on if you want that. I'm going to leave that on, so we'll eject this memory card when I'm done. Over here in the lower left-hand side, we can control the size of these postage stamp views of each of the images. You could just use the slider, move to the right to make them larger, left to make it smaller. Or you could just click on these boxes. Click on this box on the right, and you'll make them larger. Click on this smaller box on the left to make them smaller. You may notice that each image by default has a little circle with a check mark in the top left-hand corner. That means that that image will be imported. If you do not want to import any specific image, you could just click on that check mark and remove it. You also could toggle that check mark on and off by having the image active, selected like it is now, and pressing the space bar, and you'll toggle that check mark off and on. If you'd like to just check all of them, you could click here, or check none of them. Click there. So you could just do them in mass like that. Really though, the main power of the import dialog is what you could do over here on the right hand panel. We could tell On1 where to put these images. We could rename them. We could modify and add metadata to each of the images, and we could do some other things with capture time and settings. And that's what I'm going to show you now. Now, first of all, where are we going to put them? By default, you can see it has this location right here. This I'm going to close that down for a second, happens to be the location that I'm in right now with On1, my browser location. When I'm in the Browse module, I'm in this folder. And you may remember we were in that folder in our last video. And that carried over to our import dialog. So when we have our import dialog, there it is right there. Now, if you want to put the images in a very specific location other than where your browse is looking at the moment, you could go down to Choose, and then you could just navigate to where they are. In this case, Mac Finder opened up, so I could use Mac Finder, because it's a Mac of course, to navigate to where I want it. If you have a Windows computer, Windows File Explorer will pop up, and just navigate to where you want to put these images. In this case, I like this location right here, but I want to put them inside of a folder that's inside of this folder. So I'm going to click on New Folder and go right there. And most of these pictures are from Hoyt Lake. Some of the pictures at the bottom are from South Park Lake. So I'm just going to, maybe I'll just call it winter. All right, so why don't we just call it winter? So I'm going to put them in the subfolder winter. Now there's a little more expose triangle here. And if you look at that, you could back up the images. So as you're importing them, it's going to take them off the memory card and put them in this winter folder, which is inside the On1 RAW files folder, which is inside or on the Lightroom hard drive. I could do that and then back them up at the same time by telling it where to back them up. Again, you would pick choose and pick a location. And what it's going to do is make a second copy and put them somewhere on your computer. I'm not going to do that here. But if you did, you could pick a folder to put them in, and you could just dump them all in one folder, or you could put them inside of a folder that has organization by month, or a folder that's organized by day, either or. So in this case, I'm not going to do any backing up. Now, you could rename the images as you import them. Normally, I don't do this, but for the sake of this demonstration, let's do it. We're going to rename the images, so click this tab to make it active, and I'm going to add text, and the text is going to be winter. All right, and then I want to add something after winter, so I'm going to click this little plus sign. You'll see another box pops up, and I'm going to give it a serial number, and we're going to start out with 01. So it's going to be winter 01 for the first image and winter 02 for the second, and so on. Now I could keep adding more fields by clicking the plus sign. If I add a field, let's say, and I have, let's say, date, and I could put the date by month, day, year, or any of these other combinations, and I do year, month, day for the sake of argument. Let's say I decide I don't want date down here. It looks a little too long. Just hit this minus. Now I got rid of that. So we're going to import these images to the winter folder, which is inside the On1 RAW files folder, and they're going to get renamed with winter and then a number after winter, the number of the image. Now, metadata is very powerful here. You could add a lot to the image here. First of all, you could add your name to it, and the copyright, again, is me, right? And I could add keywords. You could, you know, this is winter, snow. You could add them one at a time, actually. I put winter, enter, snow, enter. Let's see what else. You could do them directly, I believe, if I remember right down here. If you wanted to put a bunch, just separate them by comma. Put my name, comma. What else could we put here? I don't know. I don't know, snowscape. Drawing blanks. And then when you're done, just click out of that field and you'll put all those keywords into the image. Now you could put a description if you'd like. You also could give them either a star rating or a color flag. I normally call these color labels, but On1 calls them color flags. So as they're imported, a star rating will get applied. And for the demonstration, why don't we give it a 3-star rating and give it a color flag as well. So as they get imported, we'll get that. We could put a comment, put GPS info here. Now we have all this contact info down here. Now you could fill this out every single time, but the best way to do this is with a preset. Now you could see up here that I could create a preset with this dropdown. You also could do it down here where it says import preset there. You could just go and do a different preset. That import preset isn't on the system actually, but we could do a different preset. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a bunch of data here, and I'm going to pause the video while I do it. And then when we come back, I'll show you how to create a preset so you don't have to enter this stuff every single time. So I'm going to start doing that now. Okay, I added some data here. I didn't fill out every field, but I added the info that I thought was important to me. And this will get added to each of these images. I added my address, email, website, and I added that my usage term or my all rights are reserved, and a notice of my copyright where it's located on my website. And I could then enter this every single time I import images, but the faster and easier way is to just create a preset that will do this for me. To do that, as I mentioned, we'll go up here to the top where it says presets, click on that, and we're going to go down to save a new preset. Now, what do we want to save? Now, most of the fields are blank. I want to save pretty much everything except the keywords, because the keywords are probably going to change all the time, depending on what, I'm not going to always be shooting snow scenes, right? And descriptions would probably change. Ratings and labels will change. GPS. User comment would probably change. But all this other stuff will always stay the same. Now I'm going to give this a name, and I'm going to call it Import Preset. And click OK. Now, every time I import images, I could just go to this drop-down, click on Import Preset, and it will populate these fields exactly as it is now. So it'll save me a lot of time. So that's the metadata field. Let's close this up, make this a little cleaner. Now, photo settings. Let's see what's in here. Now, this allows you to add an actual develop or effects preset to the image. So we could actually do some processing to the image as we import them. And if you click on Add Preset right here, I click on here, then you'll see that we have all the presets that are in On1 Photo RAW 2019. Now, I'm not going to do it. I don't like to add a preset when you're developer processing preset as you're importing the image. But that option is there if you want to. Now, edit capture time. This is if you have the time wrong on your camera. And when you took the shot, your camera is showing the wrong day, the wrong time. Maybe you're traveling and you didn't take into account the time zone and change the clock or time setting on your camera. You could adjust that all here if you'd like. Now, in this case, the time is correct. So I'm going to leave this alone. So what I did now is I just chose to put it in a very specific folder in a very specific location on my hard drive. I'm going to rename the images winter with a number after it, starting at 01. We are going to add all this metadata to each of the images as they're imported, and that's it. Now, when you're ready, I'm going to import all these images. We're going to click on Import in the lower right-hand corner. And when you do, it will actually now read each of these images from the memory card that is on the computer, and it will start to populate the browse window in grid view. So we're in grid view, and you can see each of the images will get placed here. You'll also notice that each of the images has 3 stars, and it has our color flag that we chose, so that that got applied. Also, if I just click on an image and we look at the metadata, you can see that our keywords are here. Then we go to the IPTC, and you can see all that data was added. My address, my contact info, the copyright info is all there. It's on each of the images. So I could click on any image and all that info got added. So it did, everything that we told it to do. So I'm going to pause the video and let it continue to import the images, and I'll be back when it's done. Okay, it's just about finished up. It's still importing the last few. I wanted to point out down at the bottom, it's telling us that it's importing from my Nikon D850 memory card, and it has a progress bar. And you can see as the progress bar moves to the right, as it imports each of the images. And it's got just a couple more to do. I don't recall taking too many more after these. And then, once it's done, it will automatically eject that card from my system. So I could unplug it from my computer. There, it's all done. And this last image is called Winter 77. So it had 77 images. This first one was Winter 01. So you could see how it numbered each of the images. The memory card is now ejected from my system. So we have the images. They all got 3 stars and the color flag. They all got this info added to them. So now I could go through these and cull these and decide which one of these I want to process. And that's what we're going to do in our next video. I'm going to teach you how to cull an image and go through them and figure out which one you like and which ones you don't like, which ones you're going to delete and which ones you're going to keep. And I hope this all made sense and why you might want to import images. It's a lot easier to get them off your memory card and or camera and do all this kind of preliminary things to it, adding all these keywords and giving it star or color flags, star labels, color flags, star ratings, I should say, and color flags. And it, just helps you then put them wherever you'd like to on your system as well. Thank you for watching my free video training on On1 Photo RAW 2019. Please do me a favor and like and share this video. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And in the description below this video, you'll see ways that you could help me keep making free photography how-to videos. Finally, visit my website, onlinephotographytraining.com. There, you'll find over 900 videos and articles to help you with your photography. And of course, they're all free. Thank you.